Hello, and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be talking about my October TBR, and that's going to be the books that I'm planning on reading this month. Now, last month we did this thing where I chose numbers out of a hat that corresponded with one of the cubes here, but see, since then I've reorganized my bookshelves, and all of my physical TBR books are on top of my bookshelf, and it's a mess. But I have quite a few books that I am planning on reading this month, and I have a feeling I'm going to get through all of them and then some because I have fall break this month. I am going to be out of town for half of fall break, but the other half of fall break I don't have anything going. I have only like one or two things going on, so really I have all the time in the world to read, and that is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm super excited about all the books I'm planning on getting to. So the first book I'm going to be getting to this month is Cinder. The first book in the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I have actually started this book. I am this far into it, and I'm probably going to end up finishing it today or tomorrow, but I'm going to have it done by the end of the week because I'm going out of town in 2 days, and I have to have these videos filmed and edited tonight. So we'll see. And then hopefully I'll move on and I'll read Scarlet, the second book in the Lunar Chronicles, and that is my goal for this series for this month. I want to get at least through these first two books, and then if I'm in the mood for it, I'll read the rest of the series. I've actually read this book before. I've read both of these books before. Actually, in fact, I have both of them on ebook. I read them back in middle school, and I highly enjoyed them, and so it's really nice to get back into this world because I don't really remember what happens in this book at all. Like, I'm genuinely surprised by a lot of different things, but then again, I also know what happens because I do remember some of the things about this book, but it was so long ago that I read it that it's really nice to get back into this series, and I'm just really interested to see where it goes past what I've already read, and I feel like that's why I'm kind of like, I know I can get through these first two books easy peasy, so yeah. The next book I know for a fact I'm going to be reading this month because I would be insane not to want to read it this month is A Court of Wings and Ruin, and this book is like, it's like a weight. Like, it's freaking heavy. I don't know if you guys have held this book, but it's really heavy. But this is the third and final book in the ACOTAR series, which I read if you guys haven't seen my wrap-up for last month, I read the first two books, which are right here. I read both of them last month, and since filming that video, I have finished the second one. If you guys haven't seen that video, I hadn't yet quite finished it. I had a couple of pages left, but I finished that book, and then I went out and bought this one, and I'm super excited for it. So I know for a fact I'm going to be getting that this month. It's like 700 pages though. It doesn't look like it, but it definitely is. That's why it's so freaking heavy. So we'll see how many other books I can get in around this, but I read these books relatively quickly for their size and their content, which is funny. Like, I read that, like, I binge read these books, but I'm super excited to get to this one. The next book I'm going to be reading, maybe, I have to read for one of my classes, and that is going to be The Martian by Andy Weir. I have this on my physical TBR, and I want to read it anyways, but basically, in my apes and biotechnology class, I have the same teacher, and she assigned us to read a book per quarter, and then do a thing on it, and I haven't yet read this book. I could do any book, though, because it doesn't really matter, so I might end up changing it to Cinder, but as of right now, I'm planning on reading this book over the break, and getting to it. But if I don't, then I'm probably not going to end up reading this book this month, sadly. The next book I have been wanting to read for a very long time. So for those of you who have been watching me since the very beginning, you know that this is one of my favorite series. Not even a series, just a book. And the book I'm going to be reading is Starfall, which is the sequel / companion novel to Starflight by Melissa Landers. And if you guys don't know this is one of my absolute favorite books. I loved this book when I read it, and so I ended up getting both of them on Book Outlet a little while ago, and look at how gorgeous they are. Let's just take a second. Let me angle it towards the camera, that'd be great. But they're gorgeous, and I'm super excited to get to the second one. It's not technically a second one because it takes place before the first one does and follows one of the characters, but I'm super excited to get to it, and then I might end up even rereading this book because I love this book so much. This was a really good book. If you haven't read it yet, go do that. What are you doing? Where have you been? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't, but I just genuinely really enjoyed it. So I'm super excited to get to this. I know I'm gonna probably get to it over fall break as well. And oh no! You thought it stopped there. Nope. The next book I'm going to be reading this month is Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. This is the second book in the Witchland series, which I have the first one right here. Read the first one and I loved it, and I'm super excited to get to the second book. So I'm going to be doing that this within the next over fall break as well. And finally, to end the month off, we are going to try and get through the first book in the Throne of Glass series. After I finish A Court of Wings and Ruin, I'm going to get into this series because Sarah J. Maas is one of my new favorite authors because I love her, and I'm super excited to see where she takes this series, except this is the only book I own as of right now, and I'm kind of terrified to get into it and become obsessed with it like I did ACOTAR, and then not have the rest of the books and have to go out and buy all of them right away. So yes, but that is my goal for this month. Obviously, I talked about how I have fall break next week, and I have 5 days. I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I have 4 days, technically, that I can read nonstop, and I want to see how many books I can read within 4 days. And as of right now, I know for a fact I'm planning on reading this book, which is 1. I know I'm planning on reading Starfall, which is 2. I'm going to have this one done by the end of the week, so I'll probably start this one while I'm on my trip, and then on the ride there and on the ride back, and while I'm on my trip just in general, and then maybe finish it during that week. So that's technically 3. I'm going to try and read The Martian, so that's 4, and then I have a whole bunch of books up on top of my bookshelf, which we've talked about already, that I'm also planning on reading over the break. So my goal is to read a book a day, at the very least. My goal is to read 8 books, but that's a lot, and I don't know how that's going to work, but I'll keep you guys updated and stuff like that. But I'm super excited for fall break because I haven't really had time to read, and I'm finally getting back into reading, and it's so nice. I've literally read 2.5 books within the past week. I'm reading Cinder, and once I finish Cinder, that's gonna be 3 books that I read in 1 week, which is a lot because I have school and stuff going on. But then again, I haven't really been doing anything for the past week, so it makes sense. But I don't know. That's what I'm doing. I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books on my TBR list for this month. Look at me go, and 2 of them are from the same series. And then if I have time, I'm gonna read Mark of Athena, and then I'm gonna finish this freaking Heroes of Olympus series so I can move on with Rick Riordan because I've been wanting to do that forever. I'm really behind in a lot of different things, and I'm trying to catch up, and I'm really happy that I'm working on it. So but yeah, that's all I really have to say for what I'm going to be reading this month. I will catch up with you guys in my next video and tell you guys all about what I read and what I was doing this month at the end of the month. And I'm going to be filming other videos in the meantime, but that's basically all that I can say for now. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye!